An eclectic assortment of top stock picks on the list from our panelists this week. Eric, we start with you. You're in the gaming area.
That's right. I'm looking at the Market Vectors Gaming ETF, symbol BJK, kind of like blackjack there. And this is a very interesting play because it focuses on the consumer space. But unlike retail, which has been very hit or miss the last couple of weeks, this is a segment that hasn't been as hit. And this fund is actually up about 50% this year. But the PE is still pretty reasonable, mid-20s. And with China coming back, we've seen a lot of strength in the Macau market, which is increasingly important to a lot of these larger casinos such as Wynn and especially Las Vegas Sands. Las Vegas Sands kind of takes up the biggest spot. Wynn's also in the top 10 as well. This ETF has a number 2 ETF ranking, and the industry rank is in the top 3rd. So this could be a very strong pick for those who want to get in the consumer market but are a little shaky about retail right now.
All right, Tracy, you've got an ag products company you've talked about before. The Andersons. When you first mentioned that way back, I thought, well, maybe she's talking about my neighbors because that's their last names.
Oh.
Why would she be talking about that?
Yeah. I really like this company. I've talked about them for years now, but they are agriculture. But what makes them good is that they're really diverse. They have grain storage, they have ethanol, they do fertilizers, and then they have this rail component where they sell and lease rail cars. And over the years, it's been one segment is kind of, pulling the others, and that's made it kind of stable because, the fertilizers are not doing so well right now. Even for them in their last quarter, fertilizers were down, but ethanol was up. And then they had a record in their rail side. So they had another record quarter in the third quarter, which is really good numbers here. They're trading around 18 times, so they're not super expensive. And they're Zacks #1 ranked. They're supposed to grow earnings about 9% this year and 22% next year. Now, one of the things to watch is on the ethanol side because the EPA just recently cut the mandate. It hasn't officially gone into effect yet, still in the kind of discretionary period, but it's probably going to happen. But Andersons has already said that they still see strong demand in at least 2014, so that area of their business isn't going to get hit that hard. So estimates haven't been coming down, and it still looks good for them.
All right, Shiraz, you're revisiting the underwear segment.
That's right. The underwear is a very important segment, and Hanesbrands, I picked it for the top 10 for 2013, and it's competing with another for the leadership slot. It has almost doubled in 2013. And has had an amazing run, but the run is by no means over. They acquired Maidenform, which was more on the women's side. The traditional Hanesbrand business was more on the men's and the children's side. And the momentum is very strong. And when you listen to the calls, the recent calls, and how the management team is kind of articulating the strategy for the coming periods, they seem to be going the route of what Victoria's Secret did in terms of shooting for higher priced and higher margin products. And even without the accretion from the Maidenform and the international growth, which they lacked for a very long time, they have very strong earnings momentum that's showing up in estimate revisions. It's a Zacks rank #1. It has bounced between #1, #2, and #3 throughout 2013. Double-digit earnings growth, 2014 and also in 2015. So I'm reading some of the analysts talking about the stock going to $100. It's in the mid-60s now. Was in the mid-30s at the start of the year. So a very amazing story, and kind of like the bare essentials that everybody needs to have. So.
When you started talking about Victoria's Secret there, I thought you were going to go down the road of scantily clad models. I'm really happy you
I'm
did
not
that.
sure if they'll have a marketing program along those lines, but they're definitely shooting for that kind of a product strategy. So maybe
Right.
that's an idea for them.
Well,
They should hear about.
We'll leave it right there. Thank you all for that. And don't forget, we have other stock picks and even stock picking strategies that you can look through. They're on our website, Zacks.com. So if you're not there already, get on over and check them out. With everyone here, I'm Terry Ruffalo.